Hi everybody. So I was over here. We were shooting a new video, just put it up on TikTok about how important basics are, and that's a really great story. But I just noticed this picture on the shelf over here, and I was like, okay, remind me what happened the day that this picture was taken. And we just kind of fell down this amazing rabbit hole. And I was like, okay, we have to go live right now and tell everybody this story. So start with the people who are in this picture. So who's in this picture?
Okay, so in that photo we have Eddie Garrity, Neil Fredrickson, Brian O'Flaherty, John, me, and George Crucia.
And you call Brian O'Flaherty Boffo.
Boffo, yeah.
So in case he ends up saying Boffo in the middle of the story, that's Brian O'Flaherty.
That was his unofficial nickname. He was the captain of the company, the man in charge. But of course, everybody gets a nickname, even the boss. So I happened to be home. I was off duty, and Bruce Newberry called me up and said, "There's a major collapse on 31st Street. Why don't we go in?" So sure, why not? It's our day off. Let's get in the car and drive in. So we get there. It's in 1988. There was a 6-story building that they were doing illegal alterations on, and they took out part of the bearing wall on the foundation, and the building just collapsed, slid down, a giant pancake. It was a mess. Several people got killed, and a bunch of people were trapped. Matter of fact, Rescue 1 was supporting Rescue 3, who came with the collapse equipment. Rescue 3 made a couple of really, really good medal-worthy rescues. So we got there a little bit late, and Vinnie Dunn was in charge of the operation, and they had done all this preliminary work with a giant section of the far side of the building still standing, and bricks were tumbling down on occasion. So it was very dangerous to be anywhere near there, but we knew there were people missing still, and we were hoping that they were alive. So finally it got so bad that Chief Dunn stopped everything, and they brought in a big clamshell on like a steam shovel, and took a bunch of that really dangerous part of the wall down and moved that out of the way. So we commenced to continue doing searches. And we didn't know it at the time. I was standing next to one of the guys from 6 Truck, and somebody yelled they found a DOA. They found a man about 20 feet away from us. So people think it was only on 9/11, but what we did was when they were ready to move the man from the pile and put him into the Stokes basket, everybody stops. They take their helmets off just like we always did, all the way back to the horse-drawn days. Everybody deserves respect. After all, you're risking your lives to save these people, and we want to send him home to his family, so everything gets quiet again. What we didn't know was we were standing, me and that guy Charlie, are standing on top of a young lady. We didn't know it. She's under the debris, and she hears it get quiet again. So this is about the 3rd time that all work stopped, and she's thinking that everybody's going to go home and leave her in the pile. So we're being reverent, saying a little quick prayer as they're putting the man in the Stokes basket, and she wants to make sure we know that she's there. She's yelling, but we can't hear her. She wiggles her hand up through the debris and grabs Charlie by the foot. Well, Charlie screams like a kid on a roller coaster, and now everybody's looking, and immediately he gets moved out of the way, and the rescue guys descend on it. Rescue 3 is back in quarters already. It was a change of shift. So we descend, and we get around her. Her name was Robin Fisher, and
This is the actual picture from, so in the middle here, right? That's her. And Eddie Garrity, who would go on to become, is he a battalion chief yet in this picture? No,
No, he's a fireman.
He's
still a fireman in Rescue 1. Eddie was the first one to make physical contact with her, and Captain O'Flaherty said, "You're in charge of the patient. You stay with her while we're doing the digging."
And he's like actually holding her hand, finding out she's going to get married.
Finding all the backstory. He's in charge of morale while we're digging her out of there brick by brick.
And this, in the top, just to take a look at this picture again, because it's such a cool picture. But right there with the rescue on the back of the jacket, that's you.
That's me.
That's you. And who's next to you? So let's go clockwise.
All right, well, down, I'm not sure who that is. That is Ray Downey over here, Brian O'Flaherty over here, Mr. Riley over there, and a couple of other unidentified guys, but that's Eddie's hand here holding on to Robin. So he had found out that she was expecting to be married shortly, and she was worried that if she's hurt, the wedding's going to be off, what's going to happen, all these things that anybody would be worried about. But she was specifically talking about the wedding, and Eddie keyed on that don't worry, we're going to get you out of here, you're going to have your wedding. As a matter of fact, we're all going to come to your wedding and all the rest. And we did get her out, and she was banged up a little bit, but she made a full recovery, I believe. And she had her wedding, and we visited her in the hospital once or twice. And true to her word, and true to Eddie's word, Eddie went to her wedding. So it was an amazing thing. I went from being off duty to being at a major collapse. Once again, running out of the house, and my wife's just shaking her head. There he goes again. But, we made a difference. Every firefighter wants to have that job where they make a difference. Like, you have an impact on an operation, and I think we did at that particular job. So.
And it's also amazing because that moment of reverence, right? That moment of respect for the man who lost his life actually helped you save someone else's life.
It did.
When you think about it, it was that moment of quiet, of pause, where she was able to take her hand from where it was and literally reach for help and say, like, I am here, save me.
Right. And that's the amazing thing about building collapses is as big as a 6-story building can be, when it comes down in a big jumble like that, there's still livable places. You see people, they tell you if a building starts to collapse, get under a desk, get under something if you can, so they can make a little tent, like in a doorway, you name it, just so things don't come down on you. And it works. It works if you have the opportunity. Same thing with firefighters. Something's going wrong, seek shelter, and maybe that desk can protect you, or something else can save you.
And I just want to, I don't know if you're going to be able to pull it up in enough time, but see if you could open that page again, because this is the picture that I know, because it's been in my dad's office forever, and I just love the look on his face for some reason in this picture. It just always gets to me. And I obviously love seeing Eddie Garrity because I love him. But and Eddie's son right now.
Eddie's son is in. Yep, he's I believe a lieutenant. Might even be further than that.
Yeah, who I used to babysit randomly, because we're very close family friends.
It's another version of that.
Yeah, this is the version of the picture, and that actually, there we go. That actually has Bruce in it and Hank Molay in it, and that's everybody who was working from Rescue One then.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. So that was a story that I knew we couldn't cut down to 90 seconds for you, because it deserved more time than that. And I love spending Wednesdays with you, Dad, and hearing all the amazing stories that we plan and the ones that we don't.
Yeah, that's a good one to remember, Eddie, too.
Yeah, right. And I just want to say there's a lot of people on here who were saying hi, and I didn't want to stop and say something, but I did come across here someone from the London Rescue Fire Brigade flew by. Good to see you, serving London firefighters here, rescue unit firefighter. So hello from London. So glad that you joined us.
Yay.
And thank you to everybody who, I know there's Brian on here who's saying thank you for your service, and Billy Jones is on here, Jacob Kepler on here saying hi. Maria wanted to join us as well. So thank you to everybody who joined us now or who's seeing this later. I know, Rusty, you're sharing this live and encouraging other people to join us, which is so nice. Somebody from South Florida is saying hi, Paul. A guy, Paulie Oceans, is saying hi, Paul from South Florida. Oh, okay. So this guy is asking you to talk about Gary.
Did I know Gary Geidel? Sure. I know Gary. I had the honor and privilege of working with Gary for many years when he first came to Rescue One, and all the way up until 9/11. I worked with his brother, was good friends with his father. Gary was a prince. He was one of the toughest firemen I know, quietly hysterical. He didn't say much, but when he said something, he was a marksman. He was dead on all the time. He was a great guy to work with. Really, I love his stories about his time in the Marine Corps and all the pranks they played on each other. And a good man. I know his daughter Tilly is out there somewhere.
Yes.
Hopefully you get to see this, Tilly.
Oh, what's that? I don't know. Something just popped on your head. Okay. Hi, Patrick, who just joined us, and Debbie, who just joined us. Somebody's writing in to say that they are friends with his daughter, Tilly.
Yay.
Rusty. Oh, so that's awesome. And Paulie from South Florida wants to become the #1 fan of your fan club. So thank
There
you
we
for
go.
that. And somebody, I want to say his name is maybe Joseph, wants to know if you're going to be at FDIC this year.
No, unfortunately, I can't. Family responsibilities. I can't travel too far. I have to stay pretty close to home. But I'll be there in spirit. Go to one of the bars and have a Guinness and think of me.
I like that idea. So hi to Francis and Randy and everyone who, Randy wants to be the #1 person.
There's going to be
There's
an MMA grudge match over this.
I love it. I love it. Paulie says he's originally from New York, moved down to South Florida about 10 years ago. Hey, Lynn, nice to see you on here too. So if you didn't get a chance to hear the whole story and you're just joining us now, this is one worth hearing because Dad was off, got a phone call, decided to go in, and what happens next is just incredible. So we love sharing the stories, and luckily he can remember them all, which is kind of amazing to me because I'm like, what did I do yesterday? I don't know. But he's like, I believe it was 1985 and it was a 5-story building, and then he's like, let me look it up, and it's right. I'm like, what? It's wild.
It was 88 and it was a 6-story building.
And that's why I took notes.
Okay.
Accuracy does matter in this. It does. So thanks everybody for joining us, including Jay and Michelle and some of the other people who just jumped on here. We're about to jump off, but I hope you get to take a look at what we were talking about today.